Alright, on the bench, we have an RCI-39 VHP Plus. This is the Plus model. This is a first for me. This is the first Plus model I've had on my bench. I've had two RCI-39 VHP, regular, but not the Plus model. So this is, this is the first one for me. And, well, there's not too much difference between them. Some cosmetic stuff, and I'm not sure if this one actually has a few more channels or not. I'm not an expert on the RCI stuff, but that could be it as well. And obviously cosmetics. But this is a really nice looking radio. I like it. I like the looks of this radio. You have a really nice white faced meter, so we can just go right through it all. This is the switch for the meter, and you can also, what's nice about this is too, it has an automatic SWR function, so there's no need to calibrate the meter, switching the switches and then going back. This one here, you just switch it to SWR, and then I'm not going to key up because I have this hooked up to my signal generator, but we can try that after, even though the signal generator should handle the dead key. This radio is a little bit too high powered for, I don't have a DC block on my signal generator, but anyway, yeah, so this is an automatic SWR function. Noise blanket A&L, the 10 kilohertz jump, obviously the radio PA switch, and then the dim function. You have a high, medium, and a low, which is nice. You can, the high, let me go back here a little bit, medium, and then the low. Medium seems to be a happy medium, between both of them. I'm sure if it's, wicked dark out or whatever, you can put that setting to low, and it'll be just fine. Channel 9 in a normal. So now, volume squelch, mic gain, RF gain. You have all the different bands or pools, as RCI used to call them, or maybe still does call them, echo with the adjustment, talkback, and RF power. And of all these functions, that talkback and RF power is very handy to have, especially with an echo. But that RF power, you can, if you want to run this thing, driving some sort of linear, you can, it's nice having that option. So this is meant to basically compete against the Cobra 29. It's similar in size. RCI markets these, for the trucker. Their fame with these things is it'll fit in the same cubby hole, like an overhead console or wherever, in the truck that a Cobra 29 will fit in. The only thing is it has this, massive heat sink. Well, I wouldn't say it's massive, but, it does have a heat sink in the back. And that gets pretty warm just from the tests I've been doing, before I started recording. And I don't know how much heat that should, will dissipate if it's actually inside of like a cubby hole, and like an overhead console in the truck. I think eventually, the heat will stop being absorbed, into the actual, hole, and then, you might run the risk of overheating this. Probably, chances of that happening are probably slim, but still, I mean, this thing puts out some serious heat. But I think it's a great performing radio. I think it's a great looking radio. I really like the look. RCI gets an A+ on the look. The nice gauge. Meter. The nice channel display. It's nice and clear. Definitely an A+ on the looks. The chrome knobs with the black face, black case. It's a sharp looking radio. Build quality, not the best. I know every company, every radio that you're going to see now, coming out of Asia, is going to be inferior quality to what each company used to be. Let's face it, the new Cobra models, they're crap compared to, the older stuff. RCI is no different. RCI stuff used to be, in my opinion, a lot better than what they are now. But the difference between a crappy Cobra and a crappy RCI is the price. And for an AM only radio, and I understand this is a high powered radio, you get pretty crappy, I don't want to say crappy, because that's not right. I guess maybe inferior to its predecessors, or I guess maybe the standards for what's considered a good radio has declined. Maybe that's a better description of what I think about new CB radios in general. But the difference between an AM radio only, the difference between RCI and say like a Cobra, which this thing's competing against, I think that Cobra's prices are fairly decent compared to this radio retails. When you go online, it varies, but it fluctuates between $300 to $400+, especially if you're buying a new one tuned, from whatever shop. It's going to be about $400 tuned. That's a bit much, whereas like the Cobra 29s, you can find refurbished units for just over $100 sometimes. 120, 130. You can get them tuned 150, 160. And again, while the build quality is going to be a little bit better, the only difference in price I see is the power. Because as far as receive goes, they're more or less the same. You're going to get 110, 112, 108, minus, 108 dBm at 12 dB of synad, on most of these AM rigs. But think about this. So you have yourself a Cobra 29. I'm talking about AM only units here. Obviously, RCI makes, sideband, FM, whatever. I'm talking about this unit compared to a Cobra 29, AM units only. If you're only going to be talking on the CB band, okay, that's another thing. This is a 10-meter radio. Obviously, nobody uses this in a truck for 10 meters. Let's just face it. That's reality. Nobody really truly cares about the 10-meter function on these radios. Everyone's going to be talking on the CB band. I hope we can all accept that fact. Is it nice to have those extra bands? Sure, it's great, but I can guarantee you 90% of the people that buy these radios are going to want them converted, which is easy. It's just one jumper. And they're going to want that. They're going to be using this on the CB band. This is going to be used primarily on 11 meters. I can guarantee you that. So, putting that aside, the Cobra 29, you can actually have one built that will put out the same amount of power as this, give you a cleaner signal, all right? Because these RT1 finals are basically crap, and I can actually show you this on the waveform on the scope, compared to a Cobra 29 or a Uniden or whatever else, a non-export radio. Let's just put it as that. But with that being said, I'm not an RCI hater. I'm not an export radio hater. These are just facts. I think that while these are great radios, I doubt that they will last, especially in a mobile setting, especially in a truck setting, which this one is going to be used in. But like any radio, there's good things and there's bad things. This radio isn't complete crap. I just think that what you get for this radio, it's wicked overpriced. Again, I can take a regular Cobra 29, new model, put an RFX 95 on it, and do the same thing that this thing does on 11 meters, have a cleaner signal, sound better, for half the price. Guarantee you. I'm not just a Cobra fan. I'm not here to harp on anything. This is my opinion, and I think everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think that I can build something better than this for half the cost on an AM only radio. But with that being said, this radio came in for repair. This is Robert in South Dakota, the great state of South Dakota. I love South Dakota. You guys have a great, great, great governor, Kristi Noem. And I try to make it out there as much as I can, especially for Sturgis. My wife and I are big bikers. We don't, live the lifestyle of your hardcore biker, but we do enjoy, the biker lifestyle. And Sturgis was awesome a couple of years ago. But anyway, yeah, this is Roberts from South Dakota. This is going in his Kenworth what does he have? A W900, and which is a awesome looking rig. I love those tractors. Just really, really nice looking. For me, it's my favorite style Kenworth that's out there. Those T880s are just they are so ugly. They look like big, I don't know, just plastic. Like a fish tank almost. But the W900s, man, what a nice looking rig those are. But anyway, sent me an email stating that the radio would not turn on. So he sent it in to me, and I plugged it in and the radio turned on. So I had contacted him. I said, I think the radio is okay. It's probably, the power cable of some sort. So, we had talked, whatever, we kind of figured it out. But he had stated that he wants some other stuff done. He basically said, just go through the radio, whatever it needs, do it, and then send them a bill. And I love customers like that. Those are the best types of customers. Just do whatever you think the radio needs and just send me a bill. And he wanted a couple of cables made up, some antenna cables, and he wanted what I thought would be a good mic for the radio. So that's what we're going to do. So even though the radio powered on, I still want to double check everything. I want to double check the power jack. I want to double check, make sure that, everything is in its place, because let's face it, RCI's quality control has kind of gone out the window in recent years. Yeah, and then the mic, I got him a new RK56 mic that should be coming in a couple of days. I think this mic pairs well. In fact, when you look at the stock mic, it is something similar. It's a noise canceling mic, but I really like these in like a truck setting with road noise and all that's going on. These Turner RK56 mics, these Road King mics, are tough to beat. Even better than the static mics, I think, for this, in this case. But, first thing I noticed was when I went to go remove the cases, I'm not sure we can take this case off, top case here, which I'm going to see if he wants this protective film removed, because it's starting to create like sticky it's starting to actually affect the finish, especially if it's starting to get hot. If it's up like in a truck area where, up in a console where it's going to get hot, or in a cubby hole, that's going to make a mess. So I'm going to see if he wants me to remove this protective film off of here, because I think at this point now it's doing more harm than good. But yeah, so let's look at the foil side here. And another reason why I think that these radios are a little bit on the overpriced side. Again, I don't want the owner of this radio to think that he has a crap radio. He does not have a crap radio. I'm just talking from a technician standpoint, the problems I see. And you can go through this with any type of radio. It could be a Cobra, it could be a Unit, it could be a President. You can open it up and you can be like, wow, this is just not the same as they used to be. And that's for every single manufacturer nowadays. Any of the new radios are going to be, quality-wise, they're going to be crap compared to the stuff from the 80s. That's just a fact. But there's some pretty sketchy soldering done here. Like I feel like it's burnt already. Like the trace is like half burnt there. There's some pretty big globs of solder in some places. That's just not necessary, and then when you look at other spots, like it barely has like solder. I feel like it's just inconsistent. It's like you either have too much or too little. And while the board itself you can tell it's a good quality fiberglass board, the actual copper traces themselves, they are so thin, and that's, RCI is not known for having, great traces, even, back in the day. But this is, you have to be really, really careful when you're working on the foil side on these radios. They are just super thin. You have to turn your iron down a considerable amount to even work on these. It's probably lead-free solder. Well, it's definitely lead-free solder. But I mean, you just look at some of these, and it's just crap as far as soldering goes. Just inconsistent. That's one of my pet peeves with this radio. So now going to the component side of things. It's, you standard, nothing special or out of the ordinary. All 1/8 watt rated components, and that's, every manufacturer has gone down to 1/8 watt for a long time now. Nothing special about that. But man, these caps, they are, what are they called? What is that? Wind cap. Let me try to zoom in on one of these. Yeah, if you look, it's called wind cap. Let me tell you something about wind caps. If you guys are familiar with a website called badcaps.com, and it's kind of like a forum, and you can kind of do a search, and I go there. I used to post on there a while back, but just people's experiences with caps and whatnot, and they kind of call out sketchy companies. WinCap is one of those companies. It's unfortunate because it is a mainstream company. You'll find it in computer components, soundboard, you name it, laptops, but they are a inferior cap company. it's meant, you know, RCI puts them in stuff. Other companies do too. It's to keep costs down. But they are crap, complete crap. And I'm almost compelled to have him recap this radio. And that's not an exaggeration. You know, I'm telling you, I can almost guarantee you that these cap values are very far off to what they're supposed to be. WinCap is, just go to badcaps.com. You don't have to take my word for it. So now a couple of the mods that people like to do is the filter cap. And I think RCI has already, their radios have already come through with a higher capacitance filter cap, as well as in the audio circuit here. That's 1,000 microfarad, 25 volts. Let me get a light. Yeah, that's a 1,000 microfarad, 25 volts. So people like to upgrade those to like 2200. So I'll be doing that with the proper cap. Or I might just reach out to him and see if he wants to recap this whole radio. I don't know. We'll see. And then that one, what the hell is that name? That's a Jack Con? What the? I've never even heard of that. I wonder if somebody already replaced this cap. Already tried to do the upgrade and just upgraded it with, you know, a crappy cap. Jack Con. I don't know. I'll have to go to badcaps.com and see what that company is. But that's already been upgraded to a 2200. So I don't know. I might upgrade that to something maybe like a 3300 or something like that, if I can fit it in there. That's another issue. That footprint on that cap, it's taller but skinnier. I don't know if I have a cap that would fit in there, but I can probably make one fit some way, somehow. A nice Nichicon or a Rubicon or, I don't know, IC, you know, Illinois capacitor, something better than a Jack Con. Yeah, we'll be upgrading those caps at least. I'll contact the owner and see what he wants to do. I know he told me to do just whatever is necessary, but I don't know if he would want to do a capacitor, a recap on this whole radio. So now, when I was removing the cases, I could hear something rattling inside. And I'm like, okay, well, that could probably be the power issue. But a couple of these, this came out of inside the radio. Now, I can confirm that it looks like some sort of trace or a leg, or somebody might have cut something. Who knows? Maybe when it was the upgrade for the cap. Who knows? I don't know. I can't say that this is an RCI thing for sure. But whatever it is, this, along with like 2 or 3 other pieces that fell on the floor, this one just happened to fall in my on the workbench. But that was on the component side. So I don't know if this was, you know, creating his no. I don't know if these pieces were maybe touching a component that was preventing this from turning on. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that whoever, if this is an RCI thing or the tech who worked on it last, this is just, you know, it's uncalled for. You know, it's you can create, believe it or not, that little piece there can create so many issues and drive you crazy. But anyway, yeah, that's that. 2 or 3 of those pieces had fallen on the floor, so I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I can't confirm that you know, that came out of RCI that way, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just say that. But anyway, so this has 2. So it has a pre-driver, a driver, and then a dual final. So RT1s. I think this is pretty much what these pluses come with. I can't remember what the regular VHPs came with. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say they were 13N10s or something like that. I can't remember, but anyway. What's the driver here? I can't. 3, what is that? Let me zoom in. Get a light over there. Oh, just had it. Jesus. Sorry, I'm trying to look through the viewfinder here and it's... I don't know. Doesn't seem to be any light is working here. 13N10? Yeah. Yes, 13N10. So I'm assuming the other pre-driver is the same. I'm driving these dual RT1 finals, so MOSFETs, obviously. Those are, you know, pretty decent, you know, as far as output power goes. Super sensitive to antenna, so. And I'm sure that's probably another reason why RCI decided to put in that, you know, that automatic SWR switch. Just makes things easier to double check your, you know, your antenna SWRs. But all right, that's about it. So that's my opinion on these radios. At least this 39 VHP Plus. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll reach out to the customer, see if he wants to do an entire recap. If not, we'll do the 2 upgrades to the caps, on the audio and the filter, and we'll do an alignment. So I already have this on, like I said before, I have this on the signal generator, so it's pretty spot on. I think I got minus 112 dBm at 12 dB of synad. RCI actually uses 10 dB of synad, but just to compare, you know, with other radios that use 12, you can get a pretty good comparison. And this is pretty spot on to all the other AM radios, you know, right around 110, between 108 and 112, minus 108, minus 112 dBm at 12 dB of synad, so. We can do a power test, I guess, as well. But let me go back to the signal generator. I see some people out there, and I'm not going to call out anybody. That's not what I do here. But some people I see on YouTube that have the same signal generator. Hold on, let me lower this. That have the same signal generator showing you incorrect dB readings. So let me, I'm not going to say who again, but if you see, this is an 8640B. It's a very common laboratory grade, even though it's old, but it is still laboratory grade signal generator. So your dB output, so this is minus 110 right there at that hash mark. And then this is your adjustment right here. But when you go to the scale, it's the bottom scale, not the top. It's going to be the bottom scale. So you can see that 0, the 0 mark here, that is 110 in this case. And then that would be minus 111, minus 112, minus 113, minus 114, minus 115, and so on, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So now, if you put this to 0, like I said, this is minus 110, and then this would be minus 109, minus 108, minus 107 in this case. All right, so that's how this is read. It's not the top scale, because when you do it that way, you're going to get some pretty inaccurate numbers, and you know, it could either inflate, you know, your readings or not give enough. So usually it's going to inflate your readings, especially SYNAD and sensitivity readings. So again, let's do this for an easier number. We'll do 100. Okay, let me adjust this knob right here. Let's adjust this down. 0, that's 100. So now if you wanted minus 101, it's right there. Minus 102, that bottom scale. Minus 103, minus 104, minus 105. It's the bottom scale where it says dBm. Okay? 106, 107, 108, 109, minus 110 dBm. All right, let's go back up. We're back to 100 now. Minus 109, minus 108, and minus 107. And that's the max it'll do on one setting here. So if you need to go past 107, you know, you can go back down to minus 90, you know, and then go back up on your scale here. So that's how this unit is read. So if you're seeing other texts with this thing and they're just giving you wrong, they're giving you the wrong dBm measurements. I just wanted to point that out. So if you see something like, oh, you know, I'm getting, you know, minus 130 dBm or something crazy like that, it's not right. So anyway, I wanted to point that out. All right, let me get this radio up on the, let me swap over cables, and we'll get this up on the watt meter and see what she's doing as far as with the RF power. We'll do completely low, and then we'll do maxed out, and yeah, we'll see what's going on. Stand by. All right, it's hooked up to the MFJ meter. Put a tone to it, and see what's going on here with power. Sorry about the tone. You're looking at the 300 watt scale. So it's hitting 100 and then coming back down to about 80, which is right at the ratings RCI has for the radio. 80 to 100 PEP. You'll notice it's a bit off frequency, something I told the owner as well. So we have yeah, between 40 and 30 hertz off. So the spec for most of these RCI radios is plus or minus 20, so it's a little bit off. I don't think it's anything you'll ever notice on this particular radio, but it's something we can fix, and you know, I'll get that, you know, on the correct frequency when I go through the alignment. The other issue, just like many, including Udiden, you know, RCI used to be able, you used to be able to get information, all the information you wanted as far as service information goes. RCI Hasn't done that in a while. So everything is top secret. So the only way to actually know what you're doing is to kind of go based on, other models, kind of just start testing stuff, on your own. And that's really the only way to do it. Because let's face it, a lot of these RCIs that you send in for warranty work, it's going to be voided. A lot of these, once you start adding to it, and whatever it may be, MOSFET upgrades or swing mods, and all these other types of mods. Once you do that, the radio it's basically your problem. But that's how it is with all of the manufacturers. But again, RCI used to, give out their service information. Used to email them, be like, hey, what's this, what's that, and they'd give it to you, especially as a tech. They just, the information was available. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So let's see how this thing looks on a scope, too, which is something I'm curious about, because the last two radios that I had on here, just the regular VHP, I did not put them on the scope. So I'm kind of curious to see how these things look on a scope. So let me get that. Let me get the sniffer connected to the oscilloscope, and we'll see how it looks. We'll put a tone through the mic and check out the waveform. Stand by. All right. Let's see how it looks on the scope. Oh, it's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That looks good. I mean, it's a little wavy, but I think that's because of the MOSFETs, the way they're driven. Oh, it's getting toasty. That regulator too is a little. It's warm, but yeah, this heat sink's getting warm for sure, just from that few seconds. But that looks really good. Yeah, that looks really good. Why won't you stabilize here? There we go. Oh, that looks real good. Yeah, she's peaking out at like 80 watts PEP. That's good. That looks really good. I'm pretty happy with that. Some of these MOSFETs can give you weird looking waveforms, but that looks pretty damn good to me. Yeah, so the only thing, I'll probably make a part 2 to this radio. I'm going to reach out to the owner, see what he wants to do. I hate to sell somebody, I use the term sell, but, I'd hate to tell him this thing needs to be recapped. I know the radio's not that old, but I think it could really benefit. I think the radio can really benefit from having some better caps in there, and giving this, I'll check the bias, the voltage bias on the finals. I think everything seems to be in order. Nothing seems to be, nothing just, stands out of the ordinary. But anyway, yeah, I'll probably make a part 2. Again, I'll probably just end up, if I don't end up doing all the caps, we're definitely going to be doing the other two caps. I'll probably go back through the alignment and see if we can get a little bit more sensitivity out of her. And yeah, I think that's basically it, and we'll get it back on frequency, transmitting back on frequency. So, yeah, that's it for now, guys. Stay tuned for a part 2. All right, I never show you guys as many times as I say it. You know, I never show you guys what this thing looks like on a spectrum analyzer on all these radios. So let me. I got the spectrum analyzer. I use it all the time, and I never record anything with it. So let me put this. This radio's connected to the spectrum analyzer, and yeah, we'll see what she's doing. And I also forgot I didn't even do the high-low setting on the power output test, but that's all right. I think we get an idea of what it's doing for power. But all right, let me key this up, and that's wait, doesn't look good already. Oh man, that is pretty ugly. Look at all those emissions. Look at that. That is horrible, but that's what happens with these types of radios. It's an unfortunate thing. You know, they look great. It looked great on the scope. You know, it puts out a ton of power, but when you actually have a spectrum analyzer, this will give you the true details as to what's going on, you know. And that is, so those are your two sidebands. Let me, yeah, two sidebands. And then look at all these spikes here. So let's go out to the 54. Wow, that's pretty ugly. That's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. Wow. Look at that. And then out to the 82. Man, that is pretty ugly. Yeah. When you hear the term splatter box, well, that's what that is. No doubt about it. All right, you know what? While I got you guys on, let me just, I'll swap over cables. And, all right, I'll swap over cables. And we can check out this low setting on this watt meter. Man, that was, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting perfection, but I was not expecting to see all those spurious emissions. And that harmonic out in the 54th is it's pretty substantial. I mean, I didn't take a measurement of it, but that was pretty ugly. Wait, is this the right one? No, I'm sorry. I had the right one on. This is for the signal generator. This is for the watt meter. The right one was already in. All right. So, RF power. It's the big one. All right. So this is, once again, we'll do, sorry for the tone, we'll do full power, full RF gain, and then all the way down. Yeah, just right around 80, peaking to 100. Same thing. 75, 80, somewhere around there. That's full. Let's do, actually, that was just, yeah, okay. Sorry. Let's, we can also do a dead key, I guess. So low power dead key. Yeah, right around 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, you know what? Let's put this on. We can get a better reading. Put this on the 30 watt scale. Okay, it's a little bit more accurate. So yeah, 1, 2, 2.5 watts. Dead key on low. Damn. That is crazy. Swinging back. Yeah, just right around 9 watts. That is crazy how it does that. Man. Alright, let's see what its full gain. 20. Yeah, 28. 28 dead key at full. Alright. Yeah, alright guys. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.